You're listening to Spreaker Web Radio.
Welcome, waxers, or lyricists, or what did Tony call it, Dutton?
Waxacists?
Waxacists, or lyricists?
It sounds wrong.
It's wrong. We're probably going to go with waxers, I think, because I think it sounds better than lyricists.
That's more t-shirt potential, I think.
I think lyricist makes us sound like some kind of 1960s beatnik group. I don't think that's the angle we're looking for.
No.
Anyway, this is episode 4 of Wax and Lyrical with Mainz and Dutts. I'm Mainz, this is Dutts.
Hello there.
This week, one for the ladies, we're going to do a preview of the India tour for England cricket. Then we're going to do, in lieu of the sad departure of Clive Dunn, Mainzy's favourite 5 British sitcom characters. We're going to review last week's Symes Cert and give you a new one. And we're going to give you a twist on the most boring Kale. Firstly, let's get to Dutton's one for the ladies. Cricket. Oh yes, the India Tour 2012.
Well, the tour starts next Thursday. Obviously, it's been hyped up with the Willie Won't He, Kevin Peterson saga. England's record in India since 1933 must be terrible. Must be, with England, don't travel well, they don't play spin very well. So our record in India must be shocking. Yes?
I'd assume so. Although I don't know how many games we played since 1933.
There's been 51 tests
Okay, more
in
than
England.
I thought.
England have won 11. There have been 26 draws. India have won 14. And bear in mind, there was a 3-0 whitewash, or brown wash as it was called at the time. Not by me, by the DVD.
So far in 4 episodes we've used the phrase blackwash and brownwash when talking about cricket.
We're going there.
This is crazy. Just for Americans out there, what a draw is when both teams play and no one wins.
Yeah, I know you might struggle there.
Don't worry, it gets even more confusing. For cricket, you play for 5 days. That's right, they play for 5 days. No one won, and they all shook hands at the end and had a cup of tea.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Since 2001, it's like the modern era, it seems to be called now, since England stopped being really crap, we've played 8 tests in India. We've won 1, lost 3, drawn 4. And a very, very boring stat. We've averaged 2.87 runs per over.
That is outrageously boring. No, not only is it outrageously boring that you told me this stat, it also means that those test matches were outrageously boring.
Yeah.
As we were scoring less than a boundary. Sorry, it's not 1970 England. Let's go swing for the fences here.
The real scary thing is, though, in the same series of matches, India only averaged 2.88 runs per over as well.
This must be why I literally could not tell you a piece of action in any test match with England against India in India ever.
They're one for the...
Because I'm usually either asleep because it's early in the morning, or I'm asleep because the highlights are really boring.
Yeah, it's a 4-test series. We're playing tests at Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Kolkata and Nagpur. Now, interestingly, for me, and anyone who likes the numbers, of those 4 venues, we're unbeaten at 3 of them. Well, I say venues, we're unbeaten in 3 of the cities, as one of them is in Nagpur. The last time we played there was Alistair Cook's debut. It's a different ground that we haven't actually played at yet. But historically, we haven't got a bad record in those cities. This India team as well we're playing, obviously, we're all terrible against spin. England, it's sweep or slog. And usually that's tragedy.
Well, it's not sweep or slog, is it? It's get out or out.
Out or out, yeah. Pick your poison. You can look stupid, or you can at least try, but still get out. There's no mystery spinner. There's Ravi Ashwin, who's a good off spinner, but he's just tall and he bowls a lot of top spinners. Harbhajan Singh hasn't been a factor for about 3 years, and
there we go. Harbhajan Singh.
Oh no, I'm going to go even further. Their other main spin option is Pragyan Uja, who basically is in to get Kevin Peterson out because he's a non-spinning slow left armer.
But isn't that Yuvraj Singh's job?
That's Yuvraj's job as well. But obviously, if Yuvraj isn't good to go.
But surely Yuvraj, all Yuvraj has to do is bowl. He doesn't have to bat, and he has to bowl 3 overs a test match.
He'll get 2 wickets.
He'll get 2 wickets. One in the first innings, 1 in the second innings. So.
Yeah.
If we're going to go down a popular angle, though, Dutton, because we want more than 4 people to listen to this.
Yeah.
And so far, I don't think 4 people are going to listen.
We've wound up a few of them.
Basically, Tony, Symes, and maybe Gibbo if he's learnt how to work an iPod yet.
Probably not.
So we're going to go popular angle here. So Kevin Peterson, that's the famous one, yeah? That's
Yeah.
the one who started texting his mates, although his mates were in the wrong dressing room.
Well, you say
So we
that.
decided to pick him again, yeah?
Yeah. He's been reintegrated.
Great. It makes him
Management
sound...
speak for
yeah.
the 21st century.
Yeah, but it makes him sound like some kind of deviant. He may be
You
a
said it.
deviant, he may be
Yeah.
a deviant, but you know, he may... So, are we assuming because Strauss isn't the captain anymore that everyone's just going to welcome him back with open arms?
No. Having played in teams, which you obviously have as well, you don't have to like everyone in your team. That's I've said it myself since the whole Peterson Gate thing. It comes to this. I think relations in the summer got to the extent that England were happier to risk losing without Peterson than probably win with him. Now, obviously, there's been discussions, there's been negotiations, there's been climb downs, which of course the ECB, we are the world leaders at climb downs, especially at management level. Peterson, you know, basically we all know he wants to play 2020, he wants to make his book there. If he doesn't play Test cricket, his appeal for 2020 diminishes, as odd as that sounds. So he has to play for England. So it's one of those. If Kevin Peterson plays these 4 tests, scores 450 runs and England win, who cares what happened in the summer?
Well, this is the thing, don't we fall on the inevitable truth of all of these things. We're all very, very, you know, emotional and full of morality when it suits us.
Yeah.
Until such time as that lad scores for you, or that lad scores a load of runs.
Well, this is the classic. It's as you said, if you're not English but you play for England and you do well, you're English.
Exactly.
The second you don't,
Get out, you South African.
Yeah.
And we'll all be saying it if he scores 60 runs in the 4 test matches.
when he gets made to look stupid and an actual English-born player like Ian Bell, for say, does well, it'll be, you know, he's not really English, is he?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's that same thing. And in the team scenario, my favourite one of them is back to my field, which is more football, is the Andrew Cole, as he now likes to be known, and Teddy Sheringham never spoke. But when they played, they always seemed to score goals. They may have high-fived other members of the team,
Yeah.
but it always works, as you said. You know, talent wins out.
And of course,
you don't have to like each other
that
to play
rivalry
goals.
ripped Manchester United apart, of course, didn't it?
Exactly. Well, they haven't won 15 titles since.
No, of course
wait,
not.
yes, they have. So I mean, for me, the serious question is, what's going to be the score?
Well, it's tough to say. I mean, if you like a gamble, and we'll get to that. The Bet365 has the odds. India at 1-2.
All the betting shops are available.
Of course. England at 4-1. The draw is 7-2. It's a hard one to call. 4 test series as well. Test series of an even number are pointless. Because it means there's a good chance it could be a draw series. I can see England winning, but an awful lot would have to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if...
This is a great story.
Who's going to win?
I think I asked you 5 minutes ago who was going to win.
Well, there's been an election, so I've been stocking up on my procrastinating.
So stop stump speeching and just tell me who's going to win.
I think England will win 1-0.
Okay, well, I'm going to say India will win 2-1 because that means that we go against each other, and that's always more fun. I obviously want England to win, but you know, I just think when we struggle in the subcontinent, and you say they're not very good spinners, but they'll be good enough to get us out 20 to get 20 wickets against.
There is one other thing as well. There's one player for India. I may have heard. His name's Sachin Tendulkar.
He's a name I may have heard of.
His record against England in his homeland, he's played 11 matches, 848 runs with 300s. Hasn't scored a test century in his last 25 innings, and doesn't have a test century in India for over 2 years.
There's a high possibility that's going to change, ladies and gents. So on that note of Sachin will score runs, let's move on. So, as you will all have seen in the news this week, Clive Dunn sadly passed away. One of the archetypal characters in one of Britain's greatest sitcoms, Dad's Army.
Yeah, sitcom that lasted longer than the war.
That did last longer than the war. Obviously, special to my heart, which we'll get on to a little later. But in lieu of that, Dutton and I decided that because Dutton got to talk about cricket, I'd try and do my 5 favourite characters in British sitcoms. Not as easy as you think, and there's a major reason why it's not as easy for me
You haven't
as
watched
it would
them all.
be. Well, yeah, I haven't watched every single British sitcom ever, which makes it more difficult. But I also don't like cringe comedy, as Dutton will attest. So what we're going to get out the way now is ones that I'm not going to pick. So the obvious 3, the most, we'll call them northern people, because one of them you can only find funny if you're from the north, is I ain't picking anyone in The Office. I've never watched it, and I never will.
No.
I'm not picking anyone in Phoenix Nights. I've never watched it. I never will. And I'm not picking Alan Partridge. I watched one of them in the first season when he was on the TV show. Watched it for 5 minutes. Basically ran out the room. No, stop embarrassing yourself and everyone else. Aha, dead funny. Not watching it. So now I've got that out the way, and Gibbo's head has exploded off his shoulders, because I'm not going to mention any of them. I'm now going to go 5-1, my favourites. Before that, I'm going to give a few honourable mentions.
Of course.
Honourable mentions. Basically any character in Red Dwarf.
Of course.
But I'm going to go with Cat. Love the Cat. Genius. Especially early on, when he was still half cat, half man.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat your little fishies. It's just brilliant when he's dancing down Red Dwarf. Jim Hacker, yes, Prime Minister. An absolute buffoon, played it to perfection.
Indeed.
And Norman Stanley Fletcher in Porridge.
Staggered he's not in the top 5, but worthy.
But we're gonna come back to Ronnie Barker. Sorry, we're gonna come back now. Open all hours. Number 5, Arkwright. Love that show. Love it. I'm gonna say something controversial now, don't I? My favourite David Jason character in Open All Hours. Just said it. I know, and I'm just going to say it now. I'm not going to say Only Fools and Horses in this either.
No, it's very sad that you're starting the session off being wrong. But you know,
happy to be wrong. It's why it's Mainz' favourite characters
exactly,
and not
yes.
Britain's.
Yes.
If it was Britain's favourite characters, then the people that have said aren't in it would be in it, because
exactly, of course.
Britain have made these things highly popular. But I'm being controversial. I'm doing it on stuff I like.
Yeah,
weirdly enough.
No, that's fine.
Do you know what I mean? So
you have the pad.
exactly. So
they can't
love
get
it. Love it. Just love the show. Love the concept.
Love the till.
Love the till. Love the till. As someone who worked in somewhere with a till, always wanted my till to try and snap my fingers off as well. Never quite happened.
No.
Secondly, it's a combined. It's Men Behaving Badly. It's Gary and Tony.
Yeah,
it's obviously Clunes and Morrissey. Now, some people will be saying, "Why is he saying it like that?" Well, that's because Waxers. Men Behaving Badly did not start with Neil Morrissey in it.
No, it did not.
It had who in Dutton?
It had he appeared to be funny, Mr. Harry Enfield.
Well, that was the issue. He wasn't funny.
No, he was.
He became funny after, and now stopped being funny again.
Yes,
So he had like this arc of being funny. And Men Behaving Badly wasn't in it.
No.
And you're thinking, well, I don't remember watching that on BBC One.
You know
You're
why?
right.
Because
it was on ITV. Another reason why it would never be good, because it was on ITV. You're a crap TV station. The sooner you die, the better.
Yeah, you've had a good run. Off your pop.
Gary and Tony are amazing.
Can you just go back to what was Harry Enfield's character called in Men Behaving Badly?
Something in with C, was it?
Dermot.
Damn, what a ridiculous... You wouldn't mean, with the exception of O'Leary...
You don't need another Dermot.
You don't need another Dermot, do you? It's crazy. Gary and Tony are genius.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to own a flat with their best mate and get drunk
and put cushions
and
on
have
their head.
Leslie Ash upstairs. Maybe not so much Caroline Quentin.
No, bless her.
She's a lovely personality.
I'm sure, yes,
but not for me.
No.
I effing love you, which it has been
mimicked.
Mimicked possibly a billion times, and I am sailing.
I'm sailing, and of course the Amelia's favourite was, don't touch my head. No one touch my head.
Yeah, we've all had those hangovers, and that's why I love the TV show.
Yeah.
From the seasons after.
Of course, from season 3 onwards.
Season 3 onwards, yes. Number 3, Dad's Army. As I said, I'm biased.
You're biased,
You
yes.
could obviously pick Pike. You could pick Corporal Jones, Godfrey, and the likes.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Captain Mannering. No, I'm going to pick Captain Mannering because that's my name.
Yeah. It's shocking level of
So,
bias.
so it's biased. He was the straight man in the comedy group,
Of course.
and that is harder to do.
Being straight when everyone else is being funny is...
That is harder to do. He's also slipped into fellow ginger mould.
Of course, yeah.
So, I love that TV show. Mainly because it was the only way I could ever explain to people how to say my name.
Yes, yes.
The fatal flaw I'm starting to have now is the TV shows that far away is that you speak to anyone under the age of, say, 30 and they don't know what the TV show... So you say, how do you say your name? You say, oh, it's Mannering, like Captain in Dad's Army. Which is fine if you're in a group of old age pensioners. They all go, ha, love that show.
And then say,
Stupid
don't
boy
tell
or
Pike.
whatever, don't tell Pike. Whereas now they just kind of look at you in. I don't remember watching that on Netflix.
Yeah, did he tour with Chipmunk?
Exactly. It doesn't quite work. So, number 2, Fawlty Towers. I'm going Manuel.
This is a very controversial list.
I love John Cleese, right? I do.
So does John Cleese, though.
John Cleese loves John Cleese, and unfortunately, his 7 ex-wives don't.
They don't, no.
And that's why he's back on tour, because he's having to pay. Did I review it? Is it $10 million a year?
I think it is,
alimony
yeah.
to his last ex-wife.
That's a lot of anguish you put someone through if you have to pay them that
I'll
much.
tell you what, that is a lot of money. In anyone's book, that's a lot of money. So don't be surprised if you see Monty Python's Life of Brian in 3D out in cinemas soon. But Manuel was just a genius character. I mean, don't get me wrong, he didn't say. I mentioned the war once, but I think got away with it. Or
No.
you started, you invaded Poland.
No.
But Care
But,
is classic. Now we're going to quickly move on from Fawlty Towers, and I'll tell you why, because we've talked about Manuel. And the last time 2 guys, one was funny and one was Jonathan Ross, spoke. They weren't allowed on the radio or any kind of media.
This is
for a while.
awfully early to kill this.
So let's not talk about that or Manuel's granddaughter.
No.
Finally, it's obvious. If you know me, it's obvious.
Yeah.
It's Blackadder.
Of course.
It's not even close.
No.
Nowhere. This is like when we thought let's do the top 5. I have to think of 4. I didn't have to think of 1. No. Blackadder was easy. Again, we need to put it into context. We ain't talking the Blackadder.
No.
That's awful. Mainly because Rowan Atkinson is a loser in that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't any funny. Then they got Ben Elton in. Maybe similar arc to Harry Enfield.
Might well be, yeah.
Not funny anymore.
But
But
funny
was
then.
funny. Looks like my Uncle David. Like spit of him. Bit more socialist then. Not now.
No,
obviously.
no.
Obviously
Of course not.
West End.
Yeah.
West End boy now. But before I slip into Graves mode there. So it's got to be 2 to 4. My favourite is 3. I know everybody else should see. People usually think that I'm not controversial, but this is really controversial.
I mean,
Blackadder the Third is my favourite.
Yeah.
And there's multiple reasons why it's my favourite. But the major one is the Blackadder role. I think is brilliant in it. He's not. It gets him right in that he's not dead important, but he's not a lower.
The power behind the throne.
Exactly. So it's a perfect ruse for him. I think it works really well.
It's like the role in the Third. He was basically like a spin doctor.
Yeah.
For the Prince Regent, basically.
And it has loads of famous people in. It's got Hagrid in, obviously, trying to sell a dictionary.
Chris Barry.
You've got Chris Barry, yeah. And what we're gonna just to finish it off is nowadays world waxes. These people as the most intelligent man in the world and the coolest American doctor ever. That is Mr. Stephen Fry and Mr. Hugh Laurie.
He's not American, by the way.
He's not America. I know.
Sorry.
Sorry to disturb you. He was Cambridge educated with his friend Stephen Fry. If you haven't seen Blackadder, especially the third, and you think that Hugh Laurie is cool, you've got to watch it. It will give you a brand new opinion of him.
Yeah. Illusions will be shattered.
He's a buffoon. An absolute buffoon.
Does like big trousers.
Just absolutely brilliant wig. Loves white makeup.
Yeah.
He's the Prince Regent. It's set in that period. That's what he wore. And Stephen Fry plays my favourite historical character, the Duke of Wellington. Wonderful, wonderful portrayal. Oh, and especially when he's eventually going to fight the Prince Regent / Blackadder at dawn. Everyone thinks it's going to be pistols. He gets out a cannon.
Yeah. Only girls fight with pistols or swords.
Brilliant. You see him on QI now, and if you saw last night, he set his hand on fire. But no, he was a comedy genius with the help of Rowan Atkinson, Ben Elton.
Et al.
Et al. And that is Mainzy's top 5. So last week, we gave you the Symes Cert, the Stone Cold Lock of the Century of the week. And people probably thought, well, that's nice. Little lad giving us, he is only like 22 or something, isn't he? I don't know, he's a lot younger than us
He's
anyway.
older than me, yeah.
Oh, little lad, thinks he knows what he's talking about. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but that bet was like 12 to 1 and won.
It did win.
And friend of the pod, Tony Esposti, I know I sound Italian, but I'm actually Welsh, won 450 quid.
He went dangerous as well, though. He threw another one in.
Yeah, well, smart. Yeah. Wow. I'm foreign and clever. Brilliant. Even Dutton won some money. Congratulations, Dutton.
I did. It was the boldest pound I've ever put on.
You are the last of the great big spenders.
I am.
So mainly due to the fact of that and the clamour across the nation, across the globe, to find out who Symes is picking this week, we give you this week's Symes Cert, Stone Cold Lock of the Century of the week.
He is rather fearful though, because he did say to me the other day he almost wishes he'd got it wrong, because now getting it right straight away, the pressure's on you, boy.
Well, I mean, to be fair, what we're going to do throughout the thing is we're going to keep a tally.
Oh, of course.
And
even if he gets this wrong,
if
he's
he gets this wrong, he's 50%. He's as the Yanks would call, he's at 500.
Yeah.
We shouldn't beat around the bush. It's not easy.
No.
And if he wins 1 in every 4, he's probably making money.
Yeah.
But as Tony Cornaz would say, if you're betting with Symes, you're making money.
Yeah.
This week, we've got the Bucks at -3 at San Diego. We've got the Lions -2 playing Minnesota. We've got the Broncos -4 in Carolina. And we also have a slight different twist. Over 44 points in the Miami-Tennessee Titans game. Symes also gave us another one, which was Bengals to beat the Giants. Me and Dutton are just going to say to everyone, I'd go with the original cert. Don't lob that one in, because you don't want to be that quote-unquote bet liar.
Yeah.
Who says whose £1 million accumulator was destroyed by the Bengals not beating the Giants.
Yeah. You know the type of it. I was on for 1,500 quid, but our broth scored in the last minute.
Yeah,
if you're betting on teams in matches involving our broth, you have a problem.
Yeah, we all like a quid accumulator. What we don't like is the bet liar who tells you 50. I decided to do a 17 one, and 16 of them came in, but that one never. Yeah. As you said, East Fife scored in the last minute against Queen of the South.
Yeah, I was going to have Hibbert's first goal. No, you weren't.
Yeah. I had a look at that one at 56 to 1. Yeah. No, you never.
No.
Well, of course you had a look on it. It was on the board.
But and you looked at it, pointed and laughed.
Looked at it and went, "Where's Yelovich?"
Yeah. You know what I mean? You're a bet liar. We don't like you.
We don't like bet liars.
No.
Bet liars, no.
Yeah.
You either win or you lose.
Don't make a story about it.
Don't want a story. Don't want to know what you had for breakfast that day.
The bet liar, I think, is the modern day equivalent of the fisherman who almost caught the big fish.
Almost caught the big fish. It is. I think it is. And on that note, hopefully you will make money this week on the Symes Cert.
Please bet responsibly.
Or don't bet responsibly with someone else's money.
Exactly.
Finally, obviously, we're going to do Most Boring Kale. But we're going to have a slight twist on Most Boring Kale this week. We had a few boring Kales in. None quite reached the height that you need.
I stayed awake during all of them.
You're not quite hitting the height, people. Waxers even. You need to become more boring. It can't be boring enough. But you've got to have it in context. As we said last week, don't be afraid to add in the shop you were talking about.
It was actually a meat festival or something?
It was a meat festival, which if we would have found that out, it would have been a top 5 boring Kale.
Yeah.
Fee, we will get to Rumbelows. Don't you worry your little head off.
It's coming.
It's coming. But I'm building suspense on it. So, this week, we received a tweet off the Urban Gentleman. He does have a name, but we're going to call him the Urban Gentleman from now on. And he's looking for a weekly segment. And we're like, a weekly segment? That's a good idea. So, Urban Gentleman, what are you giving me? It's got to be better than avoid chapped lips in autumn while retaining your masculinity. I am as metrosexual as the next man. As Dutton will tell you. I'm a Tonian guy, man.
Yeah.
I've been known
money to pay for a blimp.
I've been known to put creams and the like on my face. Keep this clean.
Of course.
Chapped lips in autumn while retaining your masculinity. That for me is a step into a zone that we don't want any part of here on the Wax and Lyrical podcast. It's a good effort, Urban Gentleman, but you need to do better.
Yeah.
We're all for metrosexuality here. Well, I am, Dutton's not. So if you can come up with something, we're happy to put you on. On that kind of ilk, if you too have an idea for a weekly segment, you want to be part of the show, we're more than willing to have you. If you meet certain criteria.
Of course.
As
Don't just have anyone.
No,
willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly. You can't have anyone. You've got to have a certain je ne sais quoi.
A certain I don't know what. As Dr. Lee would say.
If you've got an idea and you think that'd be a great idea, Symes Cert, this is how this came. This just came from a dedicated waxer tweeting us and saying, I've got some bets for you. Urban Gentleman tweets us in. I've got an idea for you. Yeah, thanks, but I don't want to talk about chapped lips in autumn.
No.
We have two ways of contacting us. You email us at waxinglyricalpod@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at waxing_lyrical.
We apologise for the underscore.
You wouldn't believe it. Someone had Waxing Lyrical as a Twitter handle. It's unbelievable. Anyway, if you've got an idea, you think it could be more exciting than listening to Dutton talk about cricket, or me talk about people I think are funny in British sitcoms, but basically no one else does.
It's doubtful.
I think it's doubtful, but we're more than willing to listen to those things and ignore them at the end.
Of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Mainzy, this has been Dutts, this has been the Waxing Lyrical Podcast, episode 4.